Hi, I'm Michelle, founder of CelestialWisdom.com and author of A Journey into Divine Love and the Ultimate Law of the Creator. Welcome to the first of my video blogs titled Enlightenment from the Garden series. You can find my written blog at the website. But today I wanted to begin with a simple question. What is good versus bad, really? I pose this question today in response to something I keep asking the universe, the angels, and myself. If all we're supposed to do is live in love with one another, then why do we really need protest of anything at all? Why do I personally feel the need to speak up for injustices? Why must we as humans only be able to unite together as one when fighting a common enemy? Then I had this thought arise. One group uniting as one to fight another united group is still division, yet absolute truth is singular. You can have 10 people together discussing one topic. Within that group of 10, you may find 10 different truths to the same topic. Or you could find the group divided evenly on the subject. But here's the kicker. Each person or like-minded group will ultimately declare their point as absolute truth or fact for the same exact reasons, because they alone are the enlightened ones, because they alone can see through the lies and deceit. Yet absolute truth still remains singular, does it not? So if absolute truth remains singular, that means that either one of the 10 individuals or only one group of the 10 is actually correct, or none of them have yet discovered absolute truth, but perhaps only fragments. Then within the constructs of my mind, another question formed. How is one to decide whether only one individual or group is correct or none of them? And if only one is correct, how would you go about proving or showing this to the groups who are not there yet? It seems a befitting question given the state of our world today. All over the internet, namely Facebook in my world, you can find any number of protests for any issue. There are millions of petitions, protests, and causes designed to enlighten and awaken the sleeping masses. Yet it is said to be a dangerous thing to awaken a sleepwalker. It is best to allow them to awaken on their own, for their safety and for yours. Now I've spent much time conversing and listening to the universe and my angelic and spiritual guides. Every time they remind me to blend the physical with the spiritual. So it's no surprise the answer that came. Just as in our physical world, it is not safe to wake a sleepwalker, neither is it particularly safe spiritually either. We will all awaken to the absolute truth when we're meant to. Yes, this awoke much protest within me initially. I reasoned like many of you. But if I don't fight for the helpless, or equality for all, or for the earth, then who will? If the people don't rise up and take a stand, then the government, the corporations, and banks are going to kill us all. The people need to know the truth. The thing is, absolute truth is a curious thing. It needs no explanation. It requires no fight or protest. It automatically unites every single soul that comes by it on their own, simply because it is. The only way to come by it is through reasoning, much like I'm doing right now, through understanding. But if you hold any anger, hatred, or judgment, then you simply don't understand enough yet. However, most who claim to protest and fight because they are enlightened hold this anger, this hate and judgment in their hearts and minds. You're just simply not there yet. What we end up with is what you see today. An entire world divided amongst themselves, all in the name of absolute truth and enlightenment. This is why it's dangerous to wake the sleepwalker. They tend to awaken with rage and fury. This rage and fury won't subside until they come to their senses, at which point they realize they were never in any real danger and it was a friend who awakened them. At that point they found the absolute truth that can't be denied. Then and only then does their body, their mind, and soul relax and leaves behind the fight or flight primal fear. Then and only then do they become comfortable and at ease with their surroundings and fall into love freely. It is through this reasoning that I've come to understand. Many argue that we must protest the wrongs and work to inform and enlighten all that we can. And I'll admit for good reason. I was one of them. In fact, I still haven't fully let this sink into my entire being yet. It's quite hard to when you look at the world around you and it seems that it's just everyone's going crazy. You just feel like you must speak up. I still believe that there's a purpose for everything, too. Everything we see is nothing more than a mirror of ourselves, either collectively or individually. And everything that happens is supposed to teach us something. In light of this reasoning, I've come to see that all the protests for various causes mirrors back to us an important lesson. They serve to show us where we are still divided. They serve to show us what it is that's dividing us, the anger, the hate, the judgments, lacking complete understanding. They also serve to show us where we're all united, to find the absolute truth. Still, this one absolute truth remains singular. The only way we will ever come by it is through nothing more than letting go of all anger, hate, and judgments toward others, and instead searching for that truth from a place of pure love. Again, I tell you, patience, kindness, and honesty are the keys. Instead of fighting for your cause, be your cause. Have patience with those who don't see what you see. Remember, you were once where they are. How long did it take you to see the light? Be kind to others with a different view. Remember the old saying, if you catch more bees with honey than you can with vinegar. Or, here's another one. Be the light and others will see their way out of the dark. Lastly, if the truth is what you truly seek, you will never find it living alive. You absolutely must be completely honest with yourself and everyone around you. And ask for it. Jesus said, ask and you shall receive. But in this asking, you absolutely must listen. Answers will come in all forms. So open your heart so that you may see. But when I tell you to be your cause, what I mean by that is, if you strongly protest corporations, for one, then stop working for them. Stop feeding them with your profits that you do gain from working for them. All you're doing is you're being a slave to the corporation. They give you a tiny amount of money, which you in turn right around and give straight back to the corporations and the banks who are enslaving you. So if you need to protest against them, if you want to put a stop to them, the only way you're going to do it is to stop feeding them. So you see, we really no longer have a need for protests, wars, or even heated Facebook debates, for that matter. The absolute truth will never be defending, only to be lived. So if we truly wish to awaken others, then simply be that love, be that truth. That's it. If you still feel the need to protest your truths out to the world with much anger and resentment, then you still haven't uncovered the absolute truth that you are pure energy. Energy does not die. The powers of the world that be, they can break you. They can strip everything from you, but they can never strip your humanity unless you willingly give it up. They can never strip your thoughts and feelings unless you give it to them. They can imprison your body, but never your mind and your heart. They can kill your physical body, but your energetic impression will always remain. They can even kill the entire planet and destroy all forms of life that we have here. But pure energy needs no home. The entire universe is our home. All that's left is for you to simply be love, and be true. That's it. And to bring this to a close, let's revisit the first question. What is good or bad, really? At first thought, you may reason that murder is bad, political corruption is bad, etc., etc., on down the line. But if we're going to ever arrive at absolute truth, think about this for a moment. Allow all of those bad things to come to mind for a moment. Think about all the senseless murders we've had. Now remember the good that comes from them, such as the people uniting under one cause to put an end to it. Now look at it a bit deeper. What do you suppose causes the murders? People are not inherently evil. It's not possible when we all come from the same creator of love. So what causes this behavior? Anger, hate, judgment, and lack of understanding cause it. Nothing else. What causes political corruption? What good comes of it? Well, you could say that because it is so prevalent, people awaken. So that's a good thing coming from it. But let the corruption come on if it's going to awake more people. So what's really going on? The causes? The same. Anger, hate, judgments, lack of understanding, and greed. For every bad thing, you can always find at least one good thing arising from it if you look for it. Likewise, you will always find the same exact causes. So, is it really bad if it ultimately creates good? There will always be a little bad. It has to be for the purpose of showing you or awakening you to what you don't want. If bad didn't exist, you would never know the meaning of good. However, the more we respond with anger, hate, judgment, and greed, before we reach complete understanding, the more of the bad we create. For instance, if you're still complaining and protesting every time our government makes, with every move our government makes, then you have yet to reach complete understanding. All governments everywhere are merely pawns and slaves, just like you. They are controlled by the corporations, just like you. The corporations are controlled by the banks, just like you. Normal individuals who murder do so from anger, from hate, and judgment. They do this either because someone just like you taught them these things, and or because someone just like you failed to try to understand them. They failed to understand themselves, and they failed to understand others. Because you cannot get to understanding if your love has been replaced by all of the above causes: anger, the hate, the judgment, and the greed. Others may murder because they allow the government to control their actions, whether voluntary or not. And who was it that controlled the government? The banks and the corporations. So instead of protest, it seems that all we really need to do is drop the anger, drop the hate, lose the judgments we hold toward each other. Stop giving corporations all of your time in return for money that you turn right around and give right back to those corporations and banks. Instead, we could all learn to invest the same amount of time into growing our own food, into helping each other. Look, the world would not come to an end if we stop using money, if we stop having an economy. Neither will we kill each other off if there was no government. When we have natural disasters, you see people from all over coming together to assist each other. The same will hold true if we stop feeding the banks, the corporations, and the governments and start feeding each other. Be your cause. Be love. Speak your truth from love. If it's absolute truth, that's all you're going to feel anyway. A peaceful love and real understanding. And this is our goal, but we cannot get there if we can't feel it. I would love for each of you, if you have a second, to please leave me a short comment. Let me know what you thought of the video. This is my first video. I've never been on in front of the camera before. I'm always the one behind the camera, behind the scenes. So if you can't tell, I may be a little nervous. Hopefully next time I'll have a little bit more pep to my speak, a little bit more smile. But other than that, let me know what you thought about the content. Let me know what your thoughts on the subject are. If you feel that this is a place that we can get to if we all come together, to unite together under this one common cause, to find the absolute truth, to be all awakened to true enlightenment. But I remind you, if anger, if hate, if judgment, if any kind are still there, then we're still not there yet. We still have much learning to do. So I hope that you all join me and stick around for the next one. Thank you.